I don't feel that people need to follow religion. They don't. And you're a person, you exist, you have your own personality. Your soul will pass eventually, even if you believe in someone or not. You don't have to be religious. Yeah.
I believe in Christianity as I believe the sun has risen, not just because I see it, but because by it I see everything else. You go to church when life is too big to have at home, when you don't have the words, when you maybe have, when all you have are questions, or when all you have is joy, when your joy is so big, or when your grief is so heavy. This is where we go, either to say thank you or to ask why, and we don't necessarily get any answers, but I think it's important to keep these rooms open. There are so many things in life that don't make sense. Religion or faith, it's a way of interpreting your existence. It's a way of making sense of what is sometimes very meaningless.
I've always felt really connected to nature. That has always been a part of me. So my thoughts have always been in that direction instead of religious thoughts. I didn't have a strong connection to religion as a child. Christianity felt unnatural in a sense. It didn't click with me, and I didn't find almost anything that I was looking for and what I'm looking for in my daily life. I didn't find that there. I tried to hold on to Christianity because that was the religion of Faroe Islands, and that's where you want to belong because everyone else is obviously Christian. Yeah, I read the Bible from end to end a couple of times, but it didn't connect.
My name is Heine Uskårne. I am working as an assistant professor at the University of the Faroe Islands. I have a PhD from King's College London in international relations, where I studied the clash or the tensions between freedom of expression and religious sensitivities. Secularization is a process which has taken place in Europe for decades and maybe centuries now. You can go back to the Enlightenment, perhaps. So if secularization is taking place in the countries around us, the same process shapes life on the Faroe Islands. However, I don't argue that in 30 years' time the Faroe Islands will look like Copenhagen or like Sweden or Norway or Iceland, because I still think that Faroese culture and Faroese religion are just completely intertwined.
One of the gifts of being a pastor in the Faroe Islands is that you are so intertwined with your community. You become a part of the community. There's a house that I have to move into, and that means that in time you get to know the people you live amongst and are serving.
Epistelen skriver Jakob apostel.
And that's a challenge in a way, because not knowing people is a way easier, because you can emotionally distance yourself. But I think in the end it's a gift to be able to know who you're talking to, who you're talking about.
Amen.
Hey guys, it's Migenes. Just calling to check if we're still okay to meet at 2:30 at the place I told you about. I'm just going to the store first to pick up a few things that I'll need. And yeah. I was baptized and I was confirmed at the age of 14. And about the age of 15, I was introduced to the old ways, the pre-Christian religion in Scandinavia. When it is referred to in the sagas, it's just called the old ways or the old customs. It started to interest me because also in that I also saw a connection to nature as well. was conflicted a bit, because now I had Christianity and something else that was starting to manifest. It's not that anything specific about Christianity that pushed me away. It was more the old way that pulled me from it. Yeah.
Perhaps you can distinguish between believing and belonging. You can say that a part of the population is still like subscribing to the Christian doctrines about Jesus and God and how you must behave in life. And another part of the population is still maintaining the role of Christianity as a way of tradition. For instance, many of my friends, they are either atheists or at least religiously very like indifferent, but they all baptize their children because that's the tradition. That's what you do in the Faroes.
The Norse gods are more human-like. They usually don't grant you wishes. Say you are walking in the mountains, you're lost. You don't ask Odin to show you the way. And if you're going through a difficult time, and then you would ask him to guide you so that you can help yourself.
I was walking in the highlands and I came to this rocky hill and I instantly thought, this is the place. Yeah. As soon as I cross a certain point, it feels like a step into another kind of existence. My heart starts beating when I get there. I feel excited getting there. And I use it for whenever I want to reach beyond the physical. Sacred places are established for the reason of connecting with the ancient gods and the ancestors. It is said to link the past to the present. When I come to a sacred place, it's usually for a purpose. It's either to clear my mind or to speak. Very recently with my grandfather that passed away. I feel like I connect better at that place than any other place. That is actually a carving of the concept of the afterlife.
There are two dominant ways into the afterlife. By cremation, burning or destruction of the body, then you go to the realm of the gods. And the other is you can be buried in a mound close to where your family are. And then you actually continue to remain amongst your family, taking care of them, and yeah.
Grief is different from person to person. If we talk about grief after death, it's caused by love. It's caused by broken dreams. It's caused by a future that suddenly isn't there. But how people react to that is so different, and what they sense to be meaningful in their situation is different as well.
I feel that there's still a presence when a person dies. I can feel that some part of them lingers on. And that is something that is widely accepted in the Faroe Islands. That is the presence of the ancestors. A large portion of the Faroese people think that their ancestors still linger on. They visit graves, they talk to their ancestors, ask them for favors, ask them for help. And if you don't think that an ancestor still lingers on, or why would you visit the grave?
In certain periods, many boats and ships that went out to fish never came back. Maybe half of all the men in the village just died on sea. And for instance, during Second World War, many Faroese ships and vessels were bombed by the Germans. Both my grandfathers were fishermen during that period, and they have told me what it was like to go on board and sail out to the ocean, knowing that German submarines were waiting there because we sold our fish to the UK. All this grief and this profound existential insecurity has maybe led to an increasing, demand for religion and for a personal faith in times of hardships.
That is the most important aspect of the area itself. This is where I put all my gifts, offerings, honorings. Yeah, so basically where everything happens. The gifts that I bring are usually just humble gifts. The same gifts that you would bring to a friend. Say you just want to get something off your chest, so you could bring good beer, some fruit, depending on how it will affect your life. If you want something more, you bring something extra. Something bigger, something more, of more value. Then you can go all the way up to asking for something very personal or something that will have a great impact on your life. Asking for a life, say asking for a child. Freya is the goddess of fertility, so you would offer something very big, the most precious thing that you ever had. You would have to go beyond to actually get an impact. So yeah.
I know this is a bit of a personal question, but we know that you have been trying to have a child. So could you tell us again the offering that you made?
No. No. It's too personal. Yeah. Not yet. No. Yeah.
It seems like it's hard to respond, I think, to life when it's that big. Becoming a parent or having a child. What do you do with that? It's huge. Saying goodbye to life, being a grieving relative, what do you do with that? It's too big to have in your own home. What do? We don't have a language for that. We don't have words. If the churches are open, that's where people go, because it's too big.
I honestly think that many people, I would almost say the vast majority, follow religion because they need a sense of purpose and maybe guidance and direction in life. Many people that have had rough times, they turn to religion. So in majority, I think people, they do it for a sense of purpose. And I could also explain that even if I didn't follow any religion, just my personality would still guide me down a similar path. I would honor the universe itself, or the sun for bringing us energy and for keeping us alive. And yeah, I just like the concept of appreciating things that are done for you, not because you ask of it, but just because it happens. At home, I won't be going about telling her what she has to believe, and I won't do that. Neither with Christianity or the old way. No. What she will learn is what she observes.